Welcome back to Sexpert. Thank you for always watching and commenting and receive your messages, and we love you too just as much as you love us. And in the spirit of breakups, we are going to talk about that first time you got your heart broken.
Hey.
What happened? How did you react? Yeah? Gloria, I'll start with you. I had the hey.
Can we go for Kathy?
No, let's cut onions at once. It's okay.
Anyhow, I don't have even onions like that.
We need tissue.
You guys, have you ever kept yourself? Is there any way you can switch like the topic?
No.
You need some tissue? No, I actually don't need tissue because
I can't even cry over that thing anymore.
like also I can't it can never be me crying over again because it was worth it, but it was so exhausting. I think God woke up and said, "High strong soldier," and then or is dumped, or maybe I'm a bad person and they had the right to dump something so toxic. Anywho, so while at campus, I feared men, so I didn't really date. So when I finished campus and then I got this little tiny gig, one of my first customers, they were not good. Telling us.
Tell us the story.
They're telling us not to eat our customers. But I'm not gonna to do it. Every time, like. That is all in history we have. We have been there, done that, watched together. So actually saw that like 10 years later. I'm like, we were not supposed to get a customer. I didn't know. Yeah, customers. Okay. I'm about to eat. So I met this guy. Oh, he was young. Yes. So I need to nib on something. Anyhow, I met this guy. He was amazing. He was like, like I read a lot of books. I read a lot of romance. So I felt like they had picked Matt. They had picked a whole Matt out of Paradise for me. Paradise by Judith McNaught. So if you can go and read that Matt, you'd know the Matt I'm talking about. So they have pulled out a Matt for me and they had told me, here is Matthew for you. Here is Matt for you. Oh, he was amazing. He was everything I wanted. And him being the first guy that I ever dated and he was that sweet was amazing. Wow. It was good. It was good in every sense of good. The pampering, the care, the love. But then he had money. And that was a plus. But guys, the thing with being a broke girl, they will do anything. You find yourself in spaces because you are broke. A guy will hurt you and will not apologize. He will just send you money. And you'll be happy you got the money, and then you will actually sit in your bed at night and you'll think to yourself, he didn't even say sorry. I know. And it actually hurts. You get. And then you will be there, someone will do something very shitty and they will not apologize. The next day they will send you a bouquet of flowers and you'll be over the moon. The next minute you've forgotten it. Yeah, you are done. And by the time 2, 3 months, 4, 6 months, you are in a relationship, you will realize you can count the days you are hardly happy with that person. They treat you right. They do the things that you would want to be done. But the very few things that you would actually really, really want, the very priceless ones, they don't do them. And when you complain, they compensate with the bare minimum that they think is it. You get. So I thought, oh God, okay.
I don't need a moment.
No, I actually don't need a moment, but I loved, and when it ended, it broke me. It broke me because it was the first love I had, and it was so pure, it was so effortless, and I'm actually the one person who walked out of it. Because there are moments he would do something and it really hurts you, and you expect an apology, and he's going to twist it, and you find yourself actually being the one apologizing for being offended. Do I make sense?
It makes sense. Much of it.
Like someone hurts you, you complain about it, they twist it, make you like you're horrible, and you're actually saying, I'm sorry for having complained, I'm sorry for you hurting me. And then you sit to yourself and you're like, So actually the day I woke up and I said, I can't do this, this is not for me. And one thing I know is, I remember I told my friend Joe, I told him like, I love this guy, I really, really do, but I need to end this. And I said I am going to walk out of this, and when I do, I will never look back. You guys, I walked out of that relationships like 10 times and always went back. I don't know how many times I told myself I'll walk away.
This is it.
I would say, this is it. I cut him off for 1 month. After 1 month, it would actually be me texting the phone. I'll be the one reaching out, you know?
Oh my God.
Yes. And but the one day I woke up and I said it was over. It was over. I remember. I think you guys are going to find me referencing a lot to my dad. I was very close to my dad, and I think he knew the worst of my stories. I remember also that day I picked up a phone call and I was just saying hi. And I said, hi, Dad. He's like, hi, Gloria. How are you? I told him, I'm okay. He's like, I haven't heard from you in a while. I'm like, here and there, work is okay. I'm okay. He asked me again, Gloria, are you okay? And then I just wept. I lost it on the phone. He was in the village. He's like, get your bags, come home. It was the best weekend I ever took off. I got my bags, got on my bus, also come from those homes, went to my village and relaxed for some time. I remember he came and found me washing plates, but I didn't tell him what had happened. He came and found me washing plates one morning, and as tears were just oozing, I was crying, and he asked me, what's wrong? I'm like, no, it's the onions. My dad chuckled and went, like he did that laugh and walked out. It's when he had just stand on the corner. I'm like, hold on, I'm actually washing plates. I am not cutting onions. So I can actually, I'm like, okay, I'm like, I'm washing plates. I'm even cutting. I said, yes, that's how it can get to you. I think it took me like 3 months. You guys, You've had people describe depression. You want to do things, but you can't even get the energy, the strength to get out of bed. I went through that for some time. I could hardly get the strength. I didn't want to look at people. I didn't want to interact. Like I don't know. I was just so angry. And to be honest, I was not even angry at him. I was angry at myself for letting myself. I told myself.
Hold your thought right there before we get to the regrets. We'll talk about them later. I want to hear about you.
Mine has
I
never
know
been
we had
as
girl, but
Had guys.
someone must have broken that heart of yours.
No, I think it was just this one particular guy that, should I say he was like the first? Yeah, he was. Indeed, he was. He was nice, yeah. He was doing all the nice things that I like, but then all of a sudden, he did try to come see my parents and my brothers, but then they didn't like the guy. So the moment I noticed they don't like him, I slowly also started noticing the things that I wasn't noticing.
Okay.
Those few bad things, we could call them the red flags that I kept ignoring. And I started seeing them. He was this type of person that could also do exactly the same things that Gloria's guy would do. if he has probably told you, I'm gonna meet you maybe in such and such a place, just get there and wait for me. I'll be out there in a minute. There was a time I went and sat somewhere and I had to wait for about 3 hours for this one particular guy. I don't know where I got that patience that day, but my entire life I don't have that kind of patience. But I had to wait and wait and wait and wait. Guys kept saying, "Hi, hey, you're okay? You're waiting for him? Do you need some company?" I was like, "No, I'm waiting for someone." Until the guy couldn't make it, and the only thing he did was, "I'm very sorry, I couldn't make it, but we could see what to do next time. So find a way and get yourself back home, and we'll see." I was like, "It's okay." Such innocent me.
The one in love.
You said it's okay.
I said, "It's okay," in that little sad voice, but then when I'm trying to make him feel like, I know you're busy and I'm not, so it's very fine if you don't manage to make it. Hey! I went back home. I wanted to cry, but I couldn't cry. I just slept. I never even ate. I kept sipping some small juice. But then I couldn't eat. I had to wait for him. But then even when I went home, I never ate. I just slept on an empty stomach. The next day, only for me to check on that guy. "Hey, did you manage to get home safely? Blah, blah, blah." I was blue ticked. Only for the guy to return the messages later in the day. Like, I've been uptight and have been having meetings and meetings and meetings. I said, "You haven't even said sorry. You really haven't even bothered to ask whether I reached home safely." I asked, what am I doing? What am I doing?
Alright, Catherine.
And at that time, there was some other guy that was trying to, tell me some.
You need to not support the guy when you are settled. Let's first take a sip of this very nice sling at Namaste, and we'll be right back. And we are back. So you're going to hold the thought right there, and I'll just tell you this. I think after a lot of reflection in my life, now that I am an adult,
Yeah, grown up.
grown up, I think when I look back, I can tell. There's a time I didn't know what my first relationship was.
Yeah. We
But
all
then-
didn't know, actually.
Yeah.
I don't know if that makes sense, but I didn't know.
It's when you
what
grow
to
up.
call a very first relationship with
Yeah.
someone. But there is this one guy that now I know that was a relationship.
That's the person.
And I ended that relationship stupidly. That guy was good. He was good. If I look through my life, that's the guy that
Did you write?
loved me.
Oh.
Now if you want you accept in your heart, you're like, Bambi, this guy
Was the guy?
was always down for me. And he was straight to the point, was I like you, and he had always loved me. And I lost him because I don't want to say I was immature, but I didn't know better.
You were mature, you're young, and it's
Sometimes
okay.
we blame immaturity, but I mean, that guy was nice. This was a person my parents had met.
Me is a lesson.
Wow.
Like my mother adores that guy to this point. Even randomly, she can ask me, "How is so and so?"
Is he married? Oh, we can go back.
No, he's dating someone though.
That's like,
He
Wait for small mistakes to jump in that relationship.
I don't want to have to do that. Honestly, I don't want to have to do that.
Really?
But I would
Go and get your man, girl.
So he was a nice person, I have to say. And one of the things that made me he was nice, you guys. Like he would let me be me. He loved me for who I was. He
Okay,
knew
we've
my
had the
siblings.
nice.
He knew my
We're waiting for the bed. What was the
there
bad?
was nothing bad I'm going to talk about this person.
Oh, hi,
What
sister.
I'm going to say is how I messed up. He didn't mess up. I messed up.
For the first time,
for the first time, a girl
they
owning
messed
it.
up.
They own, and a girl owning it.
I can never own it.
I messed up.
It's always
That's
the
the
guys that are
difference.
bad in my
I
stories.
messed up over very petty things, issues that could be talked about or solved or what. Like, I remember that time we had a wedding. They had a wedding at their home. His big sister was getting married. So throughout the whole time, of course, he wanted me to be there. What I knew his siblings and you knew, like it was that okay relationship that you'd see where you're going. So the whole process, the arrangements are going on. But then I had this friend of mine, remember that girl I told you that we
Yeah, I remember.
that one. But that girl wanted to be in the middle of everything.
Zenga, thank God you guys cut her off.
I swear.
Because there is a possibility you all would be in prison for murder.
The girl would put design things. I even don't know if you understand my Spanish, but should be in every
little thing.
every person's relationship, as though wanting to be the middleman. And she was one of
She
the
liked the
causes as
center
to
of
why
attention.
she always wanted to be the center of attention, even to your own man.
Do you remember the other dog?
That like she
Plant
wanted
it
the center
there.
of attention, but she would put herself in the middle of the both of us in a way and make it go as though this relationship is running on her.
On hard terms.
And now, if someone has known me for a while, I'm not a person who is good with friksing with people. Frisking, what is the word? I don't know how to fight with people. When I really see you feel like you want to occupy this space,
You let them.
I'll let you occupy it. I mean, what's the big deal? But she was all over the place, and I remember in that moment, she was there as well.
I think she was a witch.
Then, the other thing that made me, there is something that happened on that occasion where I think she was given priority over.
That
But it
hurts.
was not the other person's even problem because this person was always forceful. Like, it was hard to ignore them. It made me feel a bit small, but I didn't know how to talk about it without sounding like I'm bad.
Being
because
petty.
in front of every other person, this person
Jealous.
was like an angel.
Oh my god.
That was the first reason. Then the second reason was a religion issue.
That's big.
Right. Now I see it's deep.
That's very deep.
But I don't know. No one knows. Maybe if we would have worked it out then, or I don't know. But
you know, when a
remember we are
person is
so-
not your person, even good as they
Even as
are,
they are,
they're not
They-
your people.
They will
So he
never
was
be.
like
That's why
on the-
people-
their family was on this side, I am on this side. Meanwhile, I liked this guy because he was peaceful and all those things. But I looked at that, and to me it was a big bang. And I remember one time we're having these conversations, lovers, you're talking, and you can sleep in the kawad there, and then you're like, but I would want to stay a Catholic out life with you, and if I got married, what? And it's like, me, I'll never change, and I expect my wife to be my religion. You get, like, in conversation. So now for me, I remember when I made that phone call to him to tell him I need a moment, what I regret now is I didn't sit him down.
To actually explain what the moment was for. That's why I was saying you were young. Because at that age, who would want to indulge in such discussions? It's not like they've proposed.
My dear, where we were, like I'm saying, this guy would come home, sit in the sitting room and listen.
The only thing was missing was the ring on the finger.
I am very sure.
How old were you guys? Because I feel like
I
I'm
don't-
still young for a guy to come home, sit and be served tea.
I know.
Like-
like we knew each other from school, so it was okay. And you know those relationships that begin as friendships, then they have their natural transition. Of course, there is that will you be my girlfriend there, but they have a natural transition. They don't really have a lot of it's like a straight path. You know why it's heading. But I didn't sit down and tell him, you know what? This is how I feel. This is what happened. This moment here hurt me, and it was a pile of small things that he would do.
And you might
that
find
would
he
hurt
was
me. Sometimes even
innocent.
he would choose like his bad days, boys,
Over you.
yeah, and put me in a position where I was like third, or 17th place after them.
I think I've done that to someone.
So
I feel bad.
and people may never understand, but you look at those things and I don't know how I would sit down a person to explain to them that, okay, I know these are your friends, these are your boys, you all share all these things in common, but in this, if I am here,
I am here.
I'm here. I'm not a third party. I'm not a third wheel to your friendship.
I am the main wheel.
I don't know how to like fight over it. So I had issues. I just didn't know how
Enga
to sit down
ngamba Rose
and tell
Mukampala.
him,
You have to learn how to fight. Kampala is not for weak.
you know what?
We have
there
to
was this
fight.
one
You have
time
to fight by
I
all
went to
means.
visit him. He was a Chamago and as Admo. So he was living in this apartment. So his brothers would come around and all those things. So that time we were there, I decided to cook. I don't have problem with serving a lot of people and all that. So I spent the whole
I'm
day.
looking at you.
I made food for I don't know.
Can't
how
even boil
these
water
guys.
for you guys.
I served them.
Young
And
as
I
you were.
put their plates there. And then I did the dishes. But
Pick them up.
I was tired but angry.
And then we still said that was a nice guy. We
I
thank
was
God it
tired and
ended.
angry. And he didn't know. Like,
Yeah.
people, you need to talk to someone. On soccer cooler to understand you have to have conversations. But remember when I called him, I had all that thing bottled down and I just told him, you know what?
I need a
I need
break.
space. Because I had that thing in my mind of he has to know.
What did he do in the space? Did he ever
The
fight to
space.
get you back, or
Of course he is. He continued with whatever he was doing. If it was care, it was always there. He was checking up on me, he was always doing that. If it was like he continued, of course with time he got bored and also said living his life because now for me in my head
You had
thought I'd
moved
broken
on.
up with him and I had moved on as my small rose as I am.
Hmm.
But for him and he said he was still thinking maybe, you know, something. And then
what
hurts
excuse
me
did
now-
you? Okay.
What hurts me, I didn't explain to him anything by the way. I left him hanging and he has even never. If he ever watches this, is when he will know that there was a pile of.
What is his name?
But it's also good
You
to let
had
somebody
trolls.
know
You
that,
had trolls.
issues. I did like. There was a pile of issues.
I
that
think
I've
it's something
had.
we learn as we grow,
Yeah.
that do not put things under the rug,
Mhm.
because the rug just gets
It's
very
good
heavy,
to
and when
talk.
you lift the dust, it's going
Oh.
to block all of your
Yeah,
noses.
and
And
it's after that relationship that I realized, you know, Bambi, sometimes we are hard on guys. I'll be honest.
But-
You're hard on men, you're what? But having that expectation that for them they have to know this. sometimes
men are not wired like that. By the men are good
They
people.
don't know.
And men are sweet.
They're very good
Sweet people. They
can
are.
testify to
They
that.
don't know.
Men are good people. You can't even compare men to women.
Yeah.
Men are effortlessly nice
And
people.
loyal.
They are like dogs.
Somewhat.
Ah.
No.
The
I
things
think
a man
it's
can do
experience.
without expectation,
Oh.
a girl will not do a
Exactly.
pinch of it.
Expectation.
Hey,
Everything I do, there's always an expectation.
exactly. And a guy will just do things
Just
because
because
it
he
is
feels like-
Kathy.
Yeah.
Kathy asked me to do this for her. I'm doing
I'm
it
doing
for
it
Kathy.
That's the thing.
And then me, Kathy, maybe next time when I call her, I'll tell her to go to the side. Like, ulterior motives, you're already even targeting what
So,
she'll say.
what's that one thing you learned from all this?
In my relationship, like I always tell people, don't trip. Don't trip. But I think I learned that you can always get the perfect guy, whether it's the perfect timing or the wrong timing or anything. But if he's not the one for you, you will twist them and you'll do so much, and it will all be for nothing.
And weirdly, there would be all the nice things to another person.
Yes,
Yeah.
you will beg for the bare minimum and they will never do it. And the other person will not even say a word and will have everything.
Yeah,
So for
true.
me, I think if you ever walk into a relationship, always walk into a relationship knowing that you deserve everything. If you do not get even one little thing and you are not
Be ready
comfortable
to
with
walk
it,
out.
walk out, because guess what? You will always find someone
Sure.
who will do everything and much more than you need. I think that's the thing I learned from it, because effortlessly, if I say men are good people,
They are
they
good.
are
They're
nice.
good people. I'm also
What did you
accepting.
There's a lot.
There's this big thing I really learned. I used to be this type of person that wouldn't, even if you're stepping on my toes, I would still say it's okay. You could step on them. So I think we should be able to open up and say, this is not okay. Here you went wrong. Here you're right. Just be able to speak out. Don't stomach all those things.
Don't.
They are not. Don't.
Don't stomach.
Yeah. You don't like walkout.
If you don't like something, say it. If they're not willing to change, walk out. Press the next button immediately. Don't even wait. Because there's always going to be that somebody that's going to do things
For you.
exactly how you like it.
And more.
I think we've had a wonderful
Without even having to ask
conversation
or
here
even tell them,
with that.
I like things done this way. They'll simply find time to get to learn. Oh, Kathy likes this. Kathy
Likes it this way.
and they'll do it without even asking.
All right, guys, we're out of time on this.
Shout out to my
I don't know
man.
why every other time. to cut this man.
He's doing great. He's doing
Alright,
something
guys, we're
right.
really out of time, and I don't know why every time we're having these conversations, we are running out of time.
I know.
When they're
But
getting
in
better.
all these stories, remember there is this nice place called Namaste Restaurant.
Nice cocktails.
I should have a sip of this
See you
because
guys next time. I hope you join us.
See you.